Hey guys, Rukk here with another Crafting Academy. This is going to be aimed at players that have a basic understanding of crafting with the intention to get a bit more involved. If some of these concepts don't make sense, feel free to leave a comment or shoot me a tweet and I'll help you out. There's a link to my previous crafting video up in the top right. Check that out if you like, and don't forget to lightly caress that sub button. Now my aim with this series is to show my thought process for the first few expensive crafting projects. I'm sure like most of you found it a little bit hard to take the plunge from alteration or fossil spamming to multiple Exile meta crafting. So I found it daunting in the past and usually bought what I want from a trade site instead. But when you want something specific, it's not always possible to find it on trade. So with that in mind, today we're doing a belt. Well, let's just jump into it. Okay, so today we're going to be crafting a belt. My build doesn't get any damage from the available belt mods, so we're going for pure defense. The goal is going to be high life, chaos res, evasion rating, and whatever LE res we can pick up along the way. Now I've seen similar belts on sale for about 10x, but I'm sure we can make one cheaper than that. So now that we know what we're looking for, let's check the mods to see what it's going to look like. So jumping over to old mate poedb.tw, nailed it. We can see right away the prefix for life goes up to 99. Now if we scroll down, none of the crafted life's going to be any good to us. Essences don't offer anything. Delve doesn't offer anything. A bit of a double up. Back to Essence, Delve. Now Shaper, Nope. But look at this. Elder gives up to 10% increased life. So we found two prefixes that we want. And remember, another requirement was evasion. So if we look for evasion, we can find, we can craft some, but we can also essence craft some. So having a look at essence, goes to 180, but going back up to the crafting bench, the hybrid with energy shield is way above what we get with essence. So we want 2 natural life and then crafted evasion. Now looking at the suffixes, you know, ideally it would be great to get some T1 elemental res, but if you've ever tried to craft elemental res, there are so many modifiers and so many roles in those modifiers that it's really hard to do. But if we could hit a chaos res, maybe that'll be a little bit easier, a few less tiers, and then craft on whatever LE reses we need. Failing that, we can jump over to the crafting bench, multi-mod it, and then wham bam it with a couple of hybrids. So for my resistances at the moment, I can balance this with fire and chaos and cold and chaos. So that means the 6 mods are going to be natural life percent. Then craft a suffix of can have multiple crafted mods, craft a prefix of evasion and energy shield, and then craft 2 hybrid resistances. That will be our backup plan. But to begin with, let's see if we can hit life, and chaos on this base using fossils. Now I picked leather belt because we need the life percent, which is an elder mod, and we can't get Stygian elder belts. So this is going to be our fossil crafting one. Then I've also bought a couple of bases. This one with the 2 life rolls that we need, with spare prefixes and suffixes, so we can multi-mod and null and off we go. And this one has some fire on it, but we'll have to get lucky with the nulls to see if we want to keep that and then maybe craft the evasion. So now that we've got an idea of how we want to plan this, let's just double check our findings in POB. So jumping over into POB, you can see I've made a belt here with the T1 life, the T1 life percent can have multiple crafted modifiers, 2 LE and chaos res hybrid mods, then the evasion hybrid mod. So it's best to dummy it up first in POB just to make sure that you're not going to spend a couple of X and then realize you've got a gap in your build. So let's get some fossils together and see what we can make happen. All right, so I farmed all these fossils myself. I'm not really willing to buy more because trading is, oh, you know what I mean. So if we can't hit it with, what is this? 26 tries, then we'll just use those, one of the other 2 bases that we talked about before. Okay, so we burned through all our fossils. We didn't hit what we wanted, but we got a couple of ones I might sell. This one has decent life, decent res, a couple of flask niceties. That one, again, a little bit of life, a little bit of res, a couple of flask stuff. Now, I wasn't sure how to price this one. There wasn't many up with life and chance to gain fortify. So there was a few up over 3x, which had better stats than this, so I priced this at 2.5. But I'll be surprised if that one sells. But these ones, meh, you know, definitely covers the cost of the fossils, and we still have a backup plan with our 2 bases that have the double life mods that we want. So on this, we have the 2 prefixes that we want, and we want to get rid of those suffixes. So blast that in. Prefixes can't be changed. So now we want to scour off the fire res and strength. Now the fire res is okay, but because we're putting on that hybrid, we actually end up with more res, just by a little bit. And I'm not in dire need of fire res at the moment. So now we're left with the base with exactly what we want. Put on multiple crafted. Now we wanted the evasion hybrid. And glancing over at POB, we wanted fire and chaos. And cold and chaos. Now this probably deserves a few divines. So we'll hit it a couple of times and see what happens. So less life. So I'm more interested in hitting that 99 life than anything else. Nothing. Okay, so max life percent, decent evasion, and the fire and cold are sort of whatever. There's not a lot of variance with that roll, so I think we're happy enough. And here's our finished product. So we've hit the max life rolls that we wanted. We've got the evasion, the Ellie res, and the chaos res that we needed. All up, it was about 4x for the meta crafting mods and about 1x for the base. Now remember at the start I said similar belts were about 10x. So not only have we tailored something specific to our needs, but we've saved a lot of money along the way. Now I spent some money on some fossils trying to hit these mods on another base, which we didn't get, but we made 3 bases that if just one of them will sell, that'll pay for the fossils. All right, so I hope that's been helpful. Any comments, leave them below. You can catch me on Twitch live most days. For anything else, just hit me up on Twitter. All right, love you guys, bye.